J.K. Dobbins all the way out in Baltimore, man. It was terrible to see because I just came out in the fantasy rankings and told you that J.K. Dobbins was going to be one of the better flex or backup running back picks in the league this year.
Yep.
And now he's got an ACL and he's out for the entire season. So, I mean, I know John Harbaugh, he's under some scrutiny for even playing him in these games. So, I mean, is the preseason actually, like, I mean, is this, like, all these injuries, are those why preseason is fading in the NFL?
I got to say, yeah, because when you look at how running back, in my opinion, is probably the most injury-prone position in the NFL. I mean, you're running into dudes, full head of steam, impact at the line, 99% of the time you're getting absolutely stopped straight up with a force. And then you look at a team like the Ravens, who are an extremely run-heavy team, and we know what they do with Lamar Jackson. We know if they've done, we know what they've done with J.K. Dobbins, really making him the RB1, sending Mark Ingram out. And we saw when Ingram went down last year with the injury, how J.K. Dobbins was able to step up as a rookie in such a run-heavy team, in such a competitive conference and division, to make an impact. And now you have him, like you said, tearing the ACL, being out for the whole year. And it's all because he was out there on the field in preseason. And, like I just mentioned, this is exactly why you have guys that don't want to play. This is why you had Sean McVay come out and say, as long as I'm the coach of the Rams and Matthew Stafford is our quarterback, he will not see the field in the preseason. It's because you don't want to risk anything. You know that you can have any sort of small injury to where now, okay, it could affect him through the season, or it could take his entire season away from him. So I do have to look at John Harbaugh a little bit, because it makes you wonder, why was he out there? But then when you look at the flip side in some aspects, because I know some people are thinking right now, well, what about when Tom Brady played in the preseason and the Bucs just played everybody in the preseason? Well, there's also a thing to where you don't want to be so relaxed once you win the big game, once you win it all. You want to have that same discipline. You want to work like you don't have it already. And that's why I think that's really the only reason I can see as to why a Brady and all these starters played for Tampa Bay. But it just didn't make any sense, because now you're down a running back, your backup's with another team, and you're really just going to be testing some free agency and waiver wire to see who's going to fill in for you. I still think the Ravens can be a very good team this year, but not having J.K. Dobbins is definitely going to set them back a little bit.
I mean, I agree with you on the point that J.K. Dobbins should not have been playing, but I think it's only running backs that shouldn't play in the preseason.
Right.
I mean, as far as the Sean McVay side of it, I mean, quarterbacks should play. Quarterbacks definitely need to get their rhythm and their continuity with the rest of the offense, along with the wide receivers, the tight ends, and everyone else. Like, the offensive line needs to know what their tendencies are, how they like to move, and how they can block better for them based off of the quarterback they've got there. I mean, Matt Stafford, having not actually ever played any real games with this team, I think it's a real bad move for him not to have played at all.
Yeah.
Like, Brady played, Pat Mahomes played, the running backs didn't play. They put the quarterbacks and the wideouts out there because they're the ones that need that work and the timing. The running backs know what they're doing. They don't need to take extra hits.
Right.
So it would behoove you to put in your backup or even your third or fourth string running backs in the preseason. So, I mean, I would definitely be for the mission to say that running backs should not play in preseason games unless they're trying to gain a roster spot. But all the rest of them, they should absolutely play. I mean, especially if you're new to a team. I mean, like, they definitely, like, Tampa didn't want to suffer a Super Bowl hangover, but they didn't play them very long either. They played a couple of possessions, but they didn't play the running backs.
Yep.
It's like, it's just really a matter of working smarter. Work the players that you know can get work without just taking those beatings. Like, a running back's going to get hit every single time they get the ball unless somehow your offensive line is the 92 Cowboys, which no one else seems to have. You didn't see Derrick Henry out there. You didn't see Zeke. You didn't see McCaffrey. You didn't see Kamara. You didn't see Dalvin Cook.
Nope.
You didn't see Saquon.
Nope.
None of those guys.
Right. And Dobbins was going to be the running back one. That's why it makes absolutely no sense for him to have gotten any sort of touches.
None.
In such a meaningless game, because now, like I said, Ravens team really trying to make the push, right? Like, really trying to get over the hump, really feeling it from a couple seasons ago with the Titans. And yeah, they beat them, but then, you get shut down against the Bills. And they were going to try to build on the running game. They were going to try to get Lamar more involved. That it was coming for Dobbins to where, You mentioned him in a great fantasy pickup, but he was going to be able to put numbers out there. And really, in some cases, I've seen it from the eye test with the talent on the tape. And, especially Dobbins came from Ohio State, correct? If I'm not mistaken. Yes, running back out of Ohio State. Like, he was doing big things in college. So for a really run-centric team who likes to take a gamble, on some young players, potentially even late in the round. I mean, look at Lamar Jackson, pick number 32. So when you had J.K. Dobbins come in, I was like, okay, it makes sense. And then you see him just take off so fast and be able to be such an impact for a Ravens team. And now you don't have that. Now you don't have it because of just a simple preseason game to where, some people might think it's kind of selfish from Harbaugh. And I don't know if I can go to that aspect, but like we both just said, all the contact they take, all the force, all the hits, they don't need anything extra. They have to be out there for every bit of those 17 to 20 carries they're going to get, especially as an RB1. So I hate to see it for a young guy like Dobbins, who still has a lot of his career ahead of him. I guess better now than later, but I don't ever wish that on an athlete.
Yeah, I mean, there's generally not running backs just hanging around for you to pick up because of position.
Reputable ones anyways.
Like most teams keep 2 or 3 of them.
Exactly.
They're not looking to give you any.
Yep.
Because they know how injury prone that position is.